Markets are relatively mixed this morning. Let's get straight into it with the JSE tracking losses and rand slightly firmer. The JSE paired gains on Friday with its global peers mixed as investors digested another hotter than expected U.S. inflation report. Simon Brown of JustOneLap founder joins us now for analysis of the latest market moves. Simon, very good morning to you. Thank you for your time. Perhaps let's start off with an overview of how the local trade is faring so far this morning.
Morning, Paul. We've opened down about 0.5%, pressure across the board. Interestingly, resources up 0.25%, industrials down almost 0.9%, financials off 0.5%. As I said, that takes our overall market to little under 0.5% weaker. On the currencies, we've got the rand at 18.88 against the dollar, British pound 23.84, and against the euro 20.37. On the commodity front, gold a little higher, $2,032 an ounce, Brent at $82.93 a barrel, and the PGMs both green, and that's certainly helping some of the market. We've got platinum at $913 and palladium at $958 an ounce.
Anglo-American Platinum has their annual results out. What do those developments look like?
A tough set of results, not surprising. I mean, I mentioned a moment ago the platinum group metals are higher, but that's over the weekend, not over the last year or 6 months, depending on the results coming through. And what we see, these are annual results for 2023. Platinum price was under pressure. Costs were controlled, but edging higher. They exited some joint ventures. That hurt them a bit. A hard set of numbers, and perhaps the hardest part is the Section 189 process starting. This is retrenchment process, which could ultimately impact 3,700 workers across the various different Anglo-American platinum mines.
Staying with platinum, Northam Platinum's trading statement for the 6 months ended the 31st of December of 2023. How have they fared?
They've really had it tough. They've got some good mines, but again, they're struggling with the income side of the equation. They also, if we go back to sort of late 22 and early of last year, they were in a control fight for the Royal Bafokeng. Ultimately, Implats won that. They lost some 700 million on that. This is a trading update, but they're looking for earnings to be around 90% lower. And again, much of that being driven by the platinum price and that 700 odd million, which is a one-off, but still a cash item that must go through the income statement.
Another company, News Telecoms, also has a trading update for the quarter ended 31st of December of 2023. Did anything stand out for you on that front?
Well, I think what stood out for me was that it was frankly a little bit boring in a sense. We've got some low single-digit growth, most notably in mobile and data, but respectively those are only 5% and 7% higher, not thrilling numbers at all. BCX, which is their sort of operational side, that actually a little bit weaker, but only down 1%. And then SwiftNet, which is their towers business, they were going to list it almost 2 years ago. Pulled that because of market conditions and are now in talks with potential buyers around that. I think the market's getting a little bit impatient for a conclusion around that. As I say, it's been almost a 2-year story, but it really was. Nothing stood out on the exciting side, nothing stood out on the horror side. I suppose we could call it very much middle of the road.
Very well. Thank you so much for that breakdown. Simon Brown of JustOneLap founder joining us to help us make sense of the latest in the world of business, how the markets are faring this morning.